Okay, then. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Naveen. Good evening, Nagesh, Ujjwal, Nikhil. Thank you so much, Nikhil. Thank you so much. I'm wondering, how did you know? Good evening, Utpal. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible, guys? Am I audible? Am I completely visible? Is my screen visible? Please confirm that once. Thank you so much, Utpal. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you so much. Okay, that's great. That's really great. Hi, Jaffa. How are you, buddy? Thank you so much, Naveen. Thank you so much. Okay. So, guys, till now, okay, thank you so much, Braj Gopal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Means a lot. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nagesh. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so now, guys, till now we have covered a lot of things in JavaScript, right? We have covered from the start. We have understood what exactly is JavaScript. We have seen variables, conditions, right? We have seen loops. Then in the section, in the last session or the lecture, we talked about something called as arrays and objects, again, which was very, very important. So we also understood that. We also saw how to create array of objects and how to travel through it, right? How to travel it using the loop and how to print specific parts. Now today we'll go a little more in detail, okay? And we'll talk about, now today's complete session is depending upon some really good array methods which are very, very useful if you want to go deeper in JavaScript, or if you're planning to go for like frameworks like React, Angular, or Vue, or any other JavaScript framework, or if you're planning to learn JavaScript for backend development. So these methods are going to be very, very important. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? So today's whole discussion is on very, very important topics like callbacks. So we'll learn about what are callbacks, how to create your own callbacks. Then we will move ahead with something called as map, filter, and Foreach. Three very important functions which you need to learn if you are planning for some JavaScript frameworks or backend. And then after that, I'll teach you about destructuring in JavaScript, and then we'll learn spread operators as well. So this is the whole agenda for today. So let's see how much we can cover from that. Thank you so much, Avinav. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. It means a lot, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, are we ready, everyone? Can we start? Can we start? So today's agenda is all cleared, I think. And one more thing, guys. Till now, we were writing our JavaScript inside our HTML page, right? By using the script start, right? So till now, we're using the script tag and writing JavaScript inside the HTML page. But this is not a really good way of writing. Like, this is a fine way, but this will not be good if you have a long JavaScript. So for example, if you have like 100, 200 lines of JavaScript code, and let's say you also might have 100, 200 lines of HTML code. So in that case, you have to continuously scroll up and down, right? Just like we do in CSS. When we write internal CSS, and if we have long CSS, we shift to something called as external CSS, so that our code is much more maintainable and readable. In the same way, if our JavaScript also gets too long, it will be a lot messier. That's why we should also learn how to write JavaScript in a separate file. So till now, we were writing internal JS. Now we will move ahead to something called as external JS. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'll keep this file. I'm going to create a new file, and let's say I call it day3.html. And now today, guys, as I said, we are going to be creating a separate file for JavaScript. So now what we'll do is we'll create one more file that will be completely dedicated to JavaScript, and we'll call it day3. The extension should be JS. Okay. So till now, we were writing JavaScript inside the body in here by writing the script tag. Now, no more. We are going to create a separate JS file and we'll write our JavaScript there. Okay. Now, the one important stuff here is, again, the same thing that happens to CSS, right? If we create a separate CSS file, so that our HTML page knows where is my CSS coming from, we needed to link my HTML and CSS file, right? In the same way, so that the HTML knows where is the JavaScript, we need to link the JavaScript file and HTML file. And for that, guys, there is no link tag. We link CSS files using link tag, but we link JavaScript files using script tag. Okay, so you have to use script only, but now guys, you're no longer going to write something in here. You're just going to use this tag to link your file. That's it. So script, go inside the tag and use an attribute called as src, which stands for source, and then simply pass the path of the JavaScript file. So in this case, day3.js, and that's it. Now to confirm that if it is working, let's run our HTML file. Okay, let me take a browser window. Let's run our HTML file first. Open the console. And now to check it, let's go on the JS file and just a basic dummy console.log so that we can confirm that it is working. Now, if this hello comes on the console, that means it's working. And here we go. We can see the hello. That means everything is fine. The JS file is completely properly linked. So that's what we wanted. And guys, one more thing. While you are coding, make sure that you're saving both the files. So one way is you can simply go ahead and, you can, in VS Code, there is a setting called as autosave. So you can switch that setting on, autosave. So basically all you do will be automatically saved. But sometimes it also creates problems. Sometimes due to lag issues, that doesn't get saved. That's why personally, I prefer to save both the files. Okay. So guys, don't forget to save both the files. Sometimes your output may get hampered. So in that case, always save both the files. Okay. So now guys, it's working. Now let's move ahead to the future topics. Okay. So first of all, we will start with understanding what exactly is a callback function in JavaScript, because you can say like 70% of the advanced things are dependent upon the concept of callback functions. Okay. That's why it's very, very important to learn. Okay. So let's go guys. Let's start. So first of all, we know what are functions, right? Guys, function is nothing but a block of code which may or may not have a name. So in this case, callback is now redundant, correct? No, it's not redundant. Recursive is a different thing. That is a kind of redundant which gets executed continuously. Even though we don't call it redundant, we call it recursive. Callback is not redundant. No, I'll tell you what it is. See now, you'll understand, Naveen. So we know what's a function, right? A function is nothing but a block of code in which you have a set of code that can be executed n number of times by just calling the name. So it simply gives you reusability. We have understood that in the last session. So let's get a simple function. Let's call it do something. Okay. Guys, please focus, because if you understand this, you will never get confused in callback functions. Okay. So that's it. That's a normal function. If I just go ahead and do console.log, I am working. And now if you just call this function, you'll see that it's working perfectly fine. Now we also know that if needed, we can also pass a parameter, right? So now the value of this parameter, we have to pass it from here, right? So also tell what is callback hell. Yes, Vaibhav, I have that in my plan. So when we start with asynchronous JavaScript concept, that's when I'm going to explain that callback hell, because that's the only time you'll understand it. What is the problem with that? Okay, so when we start with asynchronous JS, I'll definitely tell you what is callback hell. Don't worry. That is the next session only. So yeah, no issues. So guys, let's move ahead. So now we have a parameter called as name, and I can pass some value for it, right? So I can just go here and write Saurabh, correct? And here I can just go ahead and put like hello and then name. So now I know that it will print hello Saurabh, because Saurabh will go in name and it will be printed. This is something that we have already learned, but let's confirm that. Best part about this is I can reuse it n number of times, and I can pass different names, like let's say Thor. So it will print I am Thor in this case. Correct? That's perfectly fine. Now, see guys, we know that we can pass anything in this parameter. If I want, I can pass a string. If I want, I can pass a number. I can pass a Boolean value. I can pass literally anything. But there is one really cool thing as well, guys, that if you want, you can also pass a function. So for example, you can go in here and you can create a function like this without any name. Okay, don't forget guys, without any name. And I can do something like this. Now see guys, very simple. Just like I can pass a string, just like I can pass a number, I can pass a function as well. So see, the function, the parenthesis, and block of code. So if I want, I can just write console.log Let's just write I am second function. Now guys, please tell me, are you getting cleared with this? Everyone, right? Just passing a function. So now what will happen is, this function will go as an argument to this particular variable. So now guys, tell me, what is this variable holding? Right now, what is that name variable holding? Is it holding a string? Is it holding a number? No, it is holding a function. So if a variable holds a function, that means it itself can be used as a function. So now in this case, I know that I cannot print it, because if I print it, see what happens. If I print the name, see what happens. It simply prints the whole function. But now if I want, I can go ahead, right? Let's say just put hello here, doesn't matter. Now I know that name is a function. So if I want, I can simply go ahead and call it in here. And see, I'm getting my hello, which is this one. Then I'm calling name. Name is nothing but this variable, which is holding this function. So if I'm calling name, that means I'm simply calling this function. And you can see the output, I'm second function, which was logged via this function. Is that clear, guys? Everyone understood? So this function that you pass as an argument is what you call as a callback function. The functions that you pass as an argument to some other function is what you call as a callback function. Now, why it is named as callback? Because see, in this case, your main function is do something. That is the function that you're calling. Naveen, I'll tell you definitely. Just give me a moment. I'll tell you that as well. Because a lot of concepts are dependent on it. So don't worry. See, so in this case, guys, we are calling this do something function, which is our main function, right? That's what I'm calling. And inside that, I am passing one more function. Cool. So first, do something is getting called. So it is doing its own task. And then it's calling the name function. So first, I finish myself and then I call you. That's why it is called as a callback function. Is that clear, guys? You simply pass it and then it calls it back internally. That's why it is called as a callback function. Is that clear, guys? Is it possible? Hello, I'm a second function. Yes, why not? Like, I didn't understand the question, Nagesh. I didn't understand the question, Nagesh. And yes, Jafra, that's what I'm going to discuss in the next session in the part of asynchronous JavaScript. A lot of new concepts. So about higher order functions, all that we're going to be discussing. Okay. Nagesh, what's your question, buddy? I didn't understand. Is it possible? Hello, I'm a second function. I didn't understand the question. Okay, everyone, are we cleared with this? Please confirm that. Yes, that's fine. You can call it here. Yeah, it's completely fine. Yes, you can just go here and write name. So whatever it outputs. See, so now what you're doing is you're putting console.log inside console.log. So let's see what's the output. Here we go. I'm a second function, then hello undefined. It's because this function is getting called first. So it's printing its output, right? As you know right now, who is Nagesh? See, this function is not returning anything. So basically, if I try to print that function, it will get undefined because it's not returning anything. But when I called it, it executed its internal code. That's why you get that output. Is that cleared? So this console.log gets executed. This function gets called. It prints its internal output. That's fine. Then this console.log prints hello. But since this function is not returning anything, it simply prints undefined. Okay. Is that cleared? So this will make it complicated, but right now let's not go with this big example. But I hope you understood the problem, right? Because that's not returning anything, so nothing is there to print. It is simply calling itself. See, I'll show you. See. Think of it very normally, Naveen. Think of it very normally. Let's not make it complicated. Let's keep it simple. We are calling do something, right? And we are passing this function as a parameter. So think of that this whole function is going inside name. That means somewhere a function like this is getting created. Function, name, and this code. Right? You can think of it like that. Just think of it like that. Somewhere a function like this is getting created. So I'm calling do something, okay, and I'm passing this particular function, which is going in name. That means internally a function like this is getting created, which is simply printing this, right? And I'm calling this function in here. So do something, first executes this line, which prints hello. Then we call name function, which simply gets called, and then it prints I am a second function. That's it. Is that clear? But yeah, this happens under the hood, so we don't know how it happens. Is that clear, Naveen? Understood? There is nothing about the priority. You're simply calling do something first, right? So it executes, and then you're passing this function as a parameter to that. That's it. So this whole function definition goes in name, and now you can call name wherever you want. It's called as callback because it is called after your main function. Is it cleared? I hope everyone understood what is callback, guys. And you can make it more complicated as well. You can make it bigger. You can pass parameters inside parameters. You can try that. It's completely fine. It's completely easy. Like for example, if I just have to give an example, just think, guys, just think. Can't we do this? Let's say I also create one function here. I create a parameter ABC. Just think, guys. I'm just trying to make it a little complicated. I pass ABC here, right? And now while calling the name, if I want, see guys, this is the definition, right? So while calling the name, if I pass, let's say 23. Now tell me guys, where is 23 going? Where is 23 going? Okay, let me remove this ABC. Let me just call it A. Tell me, where is 23 going? Where will this 23 go? How can I access it inside this function? Come on, quickly. In the names function. Yes, inside A, because see, right now this function is having a parameter called as A. And this is the function that we are calling, right? Name means nothing but this function. Correct. So this 23 will go in A. And if I want, I can use that 23 here. See, if I print that A, see what gets printed. I am a second function and 23. So that is what I passed from there. If I want, I can also pass a function here. And that can be called inside this. Then it's callback inside callback. And I can go on and on. Callback inside callback, inside callback, inside callback. I can just go on and on. Is it cleared, guys? Hopefully, you guys understood. Everyone? Is there any doubt in this? Please confirm that. That means this do something while calling the name function can pass some data and I can get it outside. Now remember this example, guys. Remember this example. Is there no OG layers of callback you can have? No, there are no specific layers. It depends on the sequence of creation, Naveen. It depends on the sequence of creations. Is there number of layers? I don't think there's number of layers. You can just go on and on and on. It's completely fine. You can simply go on and on. It's completely fine. There are a lot of examples where you have 10, 20 callback functions in line. It happens. It finds a lot of things in JavaScript are dependent upon this. So I really hope it's cleared, guys. I really, really hope it is clear. Now remember, guys, the function that you are passing as a argument here, this whole function, at the time of passing, it is not having any name. It only gets a name when it is passed inside this variable. So at the time of creation, it was not having any name. So functions like this are called as anonymous functions. Now afterwards, it gets a name because it gets in this variable. But initially, it didn't have a name. So functions like this are called as anonymous functions. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? Hopefully understood. So while creating, there was no name. And that's why anonymous. Okay? I hope, guys, it was really simple to understand. Hopefully. Okay? Now, before we move ahead, I want to teach one more thing to you guys. Okay? Before we move ahead. There is one more way of creating functions in JavaScript. Right? So in 2015, at that time, ES6 version of JavaScript came into the market. So at that time, there was one more way introduced of creating a functions. That other way is called as arrow functions. You might have heard of this. Guys, see, it is only a syntactical sugar. That basically means it is only a new way of creating function. It doesn't offer you any extra features. Is that clear? It's just one beautiful way of creating the same functions. So let me show you how it works. So let's say you want to create a function that adds two numbers. Okay. So first of all, let's say you create a function like function add. Right? Normally you do it like this. Cool. So function add. and something like this. And let's say right now it's just console.log. For now, let's say 2 plus 2, 2 plus 3, fine. Okay. So if I want to create this function using the arrow way, okay. So the first thing that arrow function says is, now no need to use the function keyword anymore. Ignore the function keyword. You can directly go ahead and use this. Is that clear, guys? Are we understanding? So first of all, what you have to do is you have to give the name, add. Okay. And then pass your equal to and then this. And in here now, you can simply go ahead and define an arrow and the bracket like this. Is that clear, guys? Everyone understandable? Please confirm that. Okay. So I think I'm making a mistake maybe. Okay, I don't think so. It's fine. Okay, so you can simply do this. So this whole thing can be converted to this. And let me show you now. Let's also do the exact same thing. Console.log 2 plus 3. Now let me just comment this one out. Okay, let me just call that function add. Let's see if it is working, guys. And see, we get 5. So this is one more way of creating functions where you can simply ignore the function keyword. Do we have to have equal add? Yes, you have to. If you're giving a name, you have to pass that equal to. That's important. So name of the function equal to the parenthesis and simply your arrow. This is why it is called as an arrow function. This fat arrow. Okay, and then simply your brackets. But now you might say that there is not much of a thing, right? Because you only remove the function keyword. But no, there are more benefits. I'm going to explain you everything. Is it a must to add let const or where? No, I don't think so. Here you have to add let const or where. You can add it if you want. It's fine. Okay, but I don't think it's important. It's not mandatory in this case. But yeah, obviously, if you wanted, you can add a let in here in front of it. It's completely fine. Okay. Is that clear, guys? So that is one more way of creating functions. Okay, now there are much more benefits. Let me show you that as well. Without define, is it executed? Without define, you have to define it, Nagesh. Without define, it will never get executed. You cannot execute it without defining. Right? In some cases, we pass it like that. I'm going to come to that as well. Okay, guys, now see, there are much more better things in this as well. Now, let's say you're passing parameters, like for example, A and B. And instead of adding 2 plus 3, let's say you're adding A plus B. So here also you can simply pass A comma B. Okay, exactly same, no difference. A plus B. Okay, so it will still work. Now I have to pass, let's say 20 comma 30. That will be 50. Is that clear, everyone? See that 50 is coming up, so perfectly fine. Everyone understood? Now one more thing. Let's say I want to return. Oh, before that, let me explain you one thing. So what arrow function says is, if you only have a single line of code, you can completely ignore this curly braces and simply put it in a single line like this. That's also fine. So if you only have a single line of code inside the function, don't put those curly braces. You can directly write stuff like this and see it will still work. But guys, only if you have a single line of code. So this is one benefit, because in JavaScript, a lot of times you are going to be having single line of code. A lot of times. And then no need to put unnecessary brackets. Yes, only single line. If it is more than one line, then you have to go for brackets. Yes. Is that clear, Naveen? Because if you're having more than one line, that means it's a block, right? It's a set of code. So you need a body to define it properly. Okay, guys? So the same thing can be done like this. If you have multiple lines, then definitely you have to go for the brackets. Okay? Then there is no other option. Now, one more thing. Let's say I am no, Utpal, you cannot use console.log below. There is something that you have to do for it first. See, guys. Now, let's say I am not printing. Let's say I'm returning it. Let's say I'm not printing, I'm returning it. Now, you tell me, guys, when we return data, that means wherever I'm calling the function, at the same place I'll get the answer. Correct or not, everyone? Correct? That means here I can create a variable C and I can get that data. Guys, correct or not? Please confirm that. So basically now, this function has become something like this. Okay? So if I want to return a plus b, I can also do this here, the exact same thing. Okay, and then in this C, I will get my result, and here we go, still printing. Okay, so I'm calling this add, it's performing this code, and whatever it is returning, this particular call will emit that, and I'm storing it in C, and I'm printing the C. Now one more thing, just now we learned that if you have a single line of code, you can completely ignore the curly braces. And if that single line of code is a return statement, you can also ignore the return code and just write a plus b, and it will still be fine. So here we go. So just remember the rule, guys. If it's a single line of code, ignore the curly braces. And if it's a return statement, that single line of code, you can also ignore that return statement, because whatever you write will be returned. And that's how you can write. Is it clear, everyone? Understandable? So that's how you write arrow functions in JavaScript. Okay. Now a lot of people put let here. You can put that let, it will still work, no issues, because you're defining a variable like structure. You can also put const here, it's completely fine. Normally you should always put const. It's not mandatory, it will work without that as well, but you can put it. After the second line, yes, definitely. See guys, now Utpal, we have also learned in this, we have also learned this in the first lecture as well, right? That this function is returning data. So either I store it in a variable, or I can directly print this function, right? Console.log. So what will happen in this case, guys? This function will get called, the code will be executed, and whatever it is returning, it will be provided to the console.log. So it will print that. So in this case, 50. Understood, guys? So normally you should follow this approach. Either put const, because that's what a lot of people follow. They see, even if you don't define let, it's by default let only. Okay, but if you want, you can define const or let, it's completely fine. Understood, guys? I hope everyone understood. So that's one more way of defining the function. That means now guys, one more thing. Now if we go here, let's try to convert this whole thing in arrow function logic. Guys, can we do that? Can we do that? First of all, here, what do we have to do? We have to remove this function keyword. Removed it. Then here, I have to put an equal to. Correct? And then here, I have to put the arrow. Done. Same with this. Guys, this is also a function, right? We have to remove this function keyword. Removed it. But one more thing. Now we don't have this function name, so no need to pass any name. No need of equal to. Just go here and put that arrow. And that's it. You have converted this whole thing into the arrow function logic. Yes, Naveen. Yes, const is used at a good practice. Yes. So that's why you should always use const with it. But again, if you don't use it, it will not cause any problem. But yeah, you should always use it because it's a good practice. A lot of people follow it so that it cannot be defined again like that. Okay. Is it cleared, everyone? So we converted our whole logic in arrow function very swiftly. I hope it's understandable. So you can see now, here it was having a name. So that's why we put equal to, then the braces, brackets. Here there was no need because there was no name, only brackets, arrow, and then your code. And a lot of times you will always see something like this. Okay, but I hope. So don't forget the basic rule of normal functions, and also don't forget this way. Both ways are fine. Never think that arrow functions are replacement of normal ways. No, they are just one more way. The old functions and arrow functions are quite similar. There is only one difference that only comes in the scope logic. We'll also cover that once we move ahead. Okay. So that's it, guys. That's how you create arrow functions. And I really hope that the concept of callbacks is clear to you guys. Hopefully. And guys, you will understand it the more you practice it. Okay. So please, once you start, please practice it. So can we move ahead, everyone? Can we move ahead now? Can we move ahead to the important topic for today? That is map, filter, and Foreach. Let's go. Let's go. Now see, guys, this map, filter, and Foreach are three of the most important methods if in future, like if you want to work in JavaScript. Because see, guys, most of your work in JavaScript will revolve around arrays and objects. As I said, those are the two most important things in your JavaScript. Why these are most important? Because when you start building applications, what is the most important thing in an application? Whether it's backend or frontend, the data. The data is the most important thing, because without data, what will you create? Right? And the whole data in JavaScript is, what do you say, shown or used in the format of arrays and objects, because we know those are the two most important entities if you want to store data. So all the data that you will see coming in JavaScript, or the data that we'll be using in JavaScript, will always be in the form of arrays and objects, or array of objects. And this map, filter, Foreach, they are nothing but array functionalities. That means they are used with arrays, or they work with arrays. And it's very important to learn, because in future you will be working a lot with data, and these three methods give you a lot of features to work with data properly. Okay, so I hope the explanation is clear, guys, why we need to learn them. Okay, so for each map, filter, I'll teach you one or two more as well. I'll also teach you find. Okay, so these four, the first three are very important, but I'll give you four now in this case. Please differentiate array and objects when used with an array. Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, reduce is one more. Yes. I'll also cover that. Okay, let's complete today's agenda first. If we get time, I'll do it today only. Otherwise, in the next session. No issues. Okay, but reduce is a great function, but normally it is not used a lot. These three are used a lot. Map is the most used. Okay, so let's go and let's start learning them. So first of all, guys, as I said, all of these are array functions. That means they work with arrays. They work with data sets. So let's create an array first. And for understanding, let's create two arrays. Okay, I'm saying three. Let's create two arrays. One normal array, one array of objects. Because so that we can understand it properly. On a normal array as well, and on a complicated array of objects as well. Okay, so let's go, guys. So let's call it nums. A simple numerical array, 45, 67, 89, 34, 90, something like that. And let's also create an array of objects. So let's call it as Avengers. Okay, array of objects. So one object, let's say ID, I pass 1. Okay, name, let's say I pass Thor. Age, let's say I pass 1500. Okay, cool, everyone? Cool. One more. Let's say ID 2, name Iron Man, age 34. One last object, because I want to keep the big three here. So ID 3, name Captain America, and age, let's say 105 or something like that. Okay, cool, guys? So now we have two arrays. One normal array, one array of objects, and we'll use all these methods on all these different kind of arrays. Ready, guys, everyone? Let's start. So first, let's use for each. Let's talk about for each. So guys, see, normally when we want to loop through arrays, what do we use? We use our normal loop. We use for loop most of the times. If we want, we can also use while loop. We can also use do while loop. But normally we use a for loop to loop through arrays. Okay, so in that case, we create an extra variable called as I that we use as an iterator, right? A counter that keeps on moving through the index, right? So for each is basically a replacement of that normal for loop. For each is simply used to loop through the array. That's it. So you can simply think that for each is a replacement of your traditional for loop. Now let me show you how it works. So first of all, you have to write your array name, that is nums, that you want to use, dot for each. Now guys, for each is a function already available in JavaScript. Now listen carefully what I'm saying. It requires a callback function. You have to pass a callback function in it. Now you understand just how we passed a callback function in do something. See, so we need to pass a callback function in here. Okay, so I can pass either it in this way, right, guys, or I can use the arrow syntax. Correct, everyone? Both of them are fine, right? Yes, Naveen, yes. Guys, are we understanding this? So should I use arrow or should I use normal function keyword? You tell me. Accordingly, I'll move ahead. Should I use function keyword or should I just use arrow functions now? Arrow is fine? Arrow is fine, guys? Okay, perfect. Now see, guys, this callback function by default has 3 parameters. This callback function by default has 3 parameters. That means somewhere the logic of this is written. Okay. Okay. So this function by default has 3 parameters. Okay. The first parameter is the element. Now, guys, I'm calling it element. You can call it whatever you want. Second parameter is the index. And third parameter is the whole array. So let me just call it ARR. Okay, that's it. That means this function is internally getting called inside Foreach. I don't have to worry about it. So now let me show you how Foreach works. As I said, Foreach is simply used to do what, guys? Loop through the array. So now what happens, see, in this case. So I'm writing nums.foreach. That means it is working for this array. Okay. So what Foreach does is, Foreach calls this whole function that you have created here for every element of the array. So first it will be called for 45, then it will be called for 67, then it will be called for 89. That means in this case, I am not defining any variable like I, j, k. I'm not worrying about the increment or decrement. Foreach by default does that. Foreach by default starts from the start and goes till the end. I don't have to define the length, right? In normal for loop, we have to define the start, that I should be 0. Then we used to define the end, that I should be less than the length, right? And we used to take care of the increment, decrement. All that is gone because Foreach will take care of that. So now what Foreach will do is, Foreach will call this function for every element. So for the first time, it will call that function 45. So when it calls this function for 45, in this element parameter, this 45 is available. In this index parameter, the index of 45, that is 0, is available. And in this array parameter, the whole array is available. So let me show you that. So if I just do console.log, all the 3. Element, index, array. Now see, guys. So first, it will be called for 45. So 45, 0, and the whole array will be printed. Then for 67, so for in that case 67, then 1, and then the whole array. For 89, 89, 2, because that's the index, and just like that it will go on and on. And let me show you now how it works. Here we go. Oh, some issue is there. Oh, I called it ARR, right? Yep. So sorry about that. Here you guys, can you see that, everyone? So first we have 45, the index of that is 0, and the whole array. See guys, this whole array is only available if you want to use it. They just provide it as an extra parameter, only if you want to use it. Okay. Then 67, the index of that and the whole array. 89, index of that and the whole array. The best part about this is the looping is going on. You're completely looping it properly. But the second thing is, you don't have to take care of any extra variable. You don't have to take care of start and end. You don't have to take care of any increment or decrement. Understood, guys? That's the benefit of using Foreach over your traditional for loop. Yes, definitely. See, Naveen, it's so simple, guys. If you want to write the alternative of arrow, what you have to do? Just remove the arrow and just add the function keyword here. Correct, right? That's it, done. That's it. See, same output. Guys, understanding the point? So if you want to write the normal way, just remove that arrow and write the function keyword. But in this case, let's go for the arrow one. Now guys, these parameters are optional. That means you don't have to define them every time. If I don't want to use this third parameter, I can go ahead and ignore it. And only the 2 things will be printed. If I don't want to use the index, I can also ignore that. If I don't want to use it. And that's it. Only element. Is that clear? But yeah, this is important. One parameter is mandatory, the first one. And again, guys, no need to call it element. You can simply call it E. That's also fine. That is just the name of the parameter. Okay, that's it. Exactly, Webhub. Exactly. See, now in this case, there is only a single line of code. Again, guys, remember that. In this case, there is only a single line of code. So if you want, if needed, we can also do this. That's it. Right? That's it. See, this is also fine. But again, sometimes this makes the code look very complicated. Some people don't understand it easily. So for this, you need to practice so that these things are understandable. We know that there is only a single line. That's why I can write it like this. But for now, let's not do that. Let's keep it simple. Okay. Understood, guys? But just know that we can do it whenever we want. Understood, everyone? Guys, understood for each? Is there any confusion in for each? Please tell me. Need only index. You have to define Nagesh. The first element, the first parameters should be defined. You have to go in a sequence because it's their parameters, right? You cannot ignore anything. So don't use it, right? Just define E and I and don't use the E. That's fine. Just don't use that. Just print the I. That's it. So you can simply go for index like this. Don't use the E. Just define it. You're defining that, but you're not using it. Let me see if we can do this. Ignore that. No, I don't think that's possible. No, you have to go for E and I. Okay. Can I call E as nums? Yes, but don't call E as nums because nums is already a name of a variable, right? So instead of E, call it num. That makes more sense, right? Nums is a collection of numbers and num is a single number at any point of time. Is that clear, Naveen? So don't call it nums. It will work because the scopes are different, but we will get confused, right, while reading the code. Is it cleared? Okay. So guys, cleared with for each. Now guys, don't forget that for each is only used for looping. There is no other use of it. It's only used for looping. That's all. Okay. Exactly, Utpal. Sequence matter. Any name is fine, but sequence is important. Now guys, let's try to do the same thing using the Avengers array. Okay. Same stuff. Avengers dot for each. Cool. And now we can just go here again, an arrow, 3 parameters, right? So let's call it AV, in which we'll get the element, then I, index, and ARR, the array. Now guys, you think, tell me everyone, what will be in AV for the first time? What will be inside AV for the first time? The first element of the array. What is the first element of the array, guys? What is the first element of the array? Come on, quickly, guys. What is the first element of the array in this case? Everyone, come on, quickly. And also, guys, if you're new, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. And also, guys, please like the video so that I can know that you're enjoying the session. So please don't forget to like. Okay? This whole thing, right? This whole object, Shaker, exactly, the first whole object, because that's the first element of the array. So the whole first object. Okay? So if I just go ahead, console.log, right? And if I just print AV, and let's say I also print the I and ARR, you know, right? All the things will be printed. So here we go. Wait. Oh, let me remove this. That's why I got confused what's happening. Let me comment that out. Okay, now see. Here we go. Okay, AV is getting printed, and here we go. Yeah. So this whole object is getting printed. Then the index is getting printed, and then the whole array is also getting printed. Is that cleared, guys? So in a single time, all of that is getting printed. Cleared, everyone? But for now, let's not print the array. Let's not worry about the index. Let's only worry about the element. But don't forget that all of that is possible. Okay, cool. And now if you want, guys, you can access anything, right? This AV is your object. So I can access AV.name, and all the names will be printed. Correct? I can access AV.age, and all the ages will be printed. Much more simpler, right? No need to worry about increment, decrement, extra variable, nothing to worry about here. All of that is very simple now. Because this AV, for the first time it is first object, next time it is second object, third time it will hold the third object, and all of that is completely fine. All cool, guys? Everyone? All cleared? I hope it's understandable. So that is for each, everyone. Can we access just items from each objects? Yes, that's how you access it, right? Not here. You cannot do it here. Here the element will come, definitely. Internally while using, you can do that. Here only the element. Is that cleared? But yeah, if you want, you can destructure it there. At here, we can destructure it. That's possible. We can destructure and extract the element. That's possible. Is it cleared? But for that, we need to learn the concept of destructuring first, which we'll learn after the map, and filter, and find. Okay? Is that cleared, guys? So for each cleared, can we move ahead now, everyone? Hopefully for each is cleared. Let me comment this out. Okay, now let's move ahead to, according to me, the most important array method. Because now no matter where you go inside Angular, you go inside, sorry, not mostly in Angular, but mostly in React and Vue.js. This is the most important looping method or looping function. I'll tell you why as well, don't worry. But first of all, let's learn it. So guys, again, the next function, that's gonna be map, one of my favorite functions. Let's go. So same stuff, guys, nums dot map, and again it has a callback function. And exactly, guys, the parameters are exactly same as for each, exactly same. First you get your element, second you get your index, third you get your array. So if I log all of them, you will see your output is exactly same as for each. See that? So now the question is, what's the difference? So now, guys, there is one very important difference that we can't notice if we don't know about it. Okay? The difference is, for each function never returns anything. Map function, this callback function inside the map, which is getting called multiple times, it always returns something. It always returns something. Let me show you. If I go here and do return 1, now tell me, guys, first of all, tell me how many times this callback function will be called. Tell me, guys, how many times this callback function will be called in this case. Come on, quickly. See the length of the array. How many times? It will be called for 45 one time, then for 67, then for 89, then for 34, and then for 90. So this callback function is getting called. No, Naveen, how is it once? It's 5 times, right? When the map starts, the looping starts. So first it gets called for 45, then it's got called for 67, then it gets called for 89, then 34, then 90. Correct, Naveen? Hopefully understandable. So in this case, this callback function is getting called 5 times, just like it was happening in for each, guys. In the for each also, this callback function was getting called for every element of that array. So in this case also, this callback function is getting called for every element of that array. That means this function is getting called 5 times. So if it is getting called 5 times, that means it is also returning 1 5 times. So whatever these callback functions return, at the end, the JavaScript creates a collection of all the returns and stores it. Let's say we call it R. So this callback function gets called 5 times. Every time 1 is returned, okay, that means 1 is returned 5 times. So it will create an array of that all those returns and store it in R. That's what it does. Let me show you. Console.log R. R will be an array of 5 ones because 1 was returned 5 times. Can you see that? So every time whatever was returned, all of that are combined in an array, and that array is returned by this nums.map, which is stored in R. Yes, R is an array, exactly. Is that clear, everyone? And you can return whatever you want. I'm returning 1. You return, let's say, E. I return the same E. So what will happen, guys? All those elements will go away. So here we go. You get the same array back. 45, 67, 89. Let's say I do this. E plus 2. So whatever the element is, plus 2. So in the case of 45, 47 will be returned. In the case of 67, 69 will be returned. In the case of 89, 91. In the case of 34, 36, and 92. And just like that, you'll have an array of the same array, but plus 2. Okay, it didn't happen. I think I didn't save it. Let me just do this. Yep, now see, I didn't save it. So sorry, guys. So now see, 47, 69, 91, 36, 92. You can return whatever you want. Is that clear, guys? Exactly, Naveen. That is the only difference. Map returns something, whatever you want, and for each doesn't return. Is that cleared? Cleared, everyone? Yes, Utpal, that's one mistake people make in React. They forget to use the key. Here you don't need it, but in React you need it. Okay, guys, everyone, hopefully it's cleared. And see, if you don't return, remember this, guys, if you don't return, we think that it's working like for each. No, it is still returning. But see, in this case, what it returns? It returns undefined 5 times. So we think that if we don't write return, it's not returning anything. No, it is still returning undefined 5 times. Every time it returned undefined. Understood, everyone? Guys, hopefully it's understood. And please, everyone, do like the session if you're enjoying it. Please do like the session. Utpal, there is nothing called as key. Here you don't have to mention anything like key. In React, because there, when you apply a loop, for the virtual DOM purposes, you have to mention a key. So that is a React specific attribute. It's not of JavaScript, it's of React. That's a React specific attribute, Utpal. It's for the virtual DOM that React creates. So guys, that's how your map works. Now let's try it with this Avengers array, which is the array of objects. Same stuff initially. Avengers.map. Okay. And then in here I pass a callback function in which I'll get my element. Now guys, please tell me, do I need to create that index an array, or that's understandable? Should I create that index an array, or that's understandable that it will be there if I print it? Please tell me. So I can simply go in here and I can print all the Avengers names. So Avenger.name, right? Same stuff. Here we go, all the names of Avengers. Let me comment this out before we move ahead. Now, see guys, see the use of map now. See the actual use case now. What if, just think, this is the data of thousands of superheroes. Just think that this may be data of thousands of Avengers. And someone gives you this array. Someone gives you this array of objects and tells you, from this array of objects, can you extract me array of all the Avenger names? So now who is your friend? Map. You simply go here and say return av.name. So all the names of all the Avengers will be returned one by one, and a final array will be created in which all that data will be there. So if I just go here and call it names, see now, console.log names. And see this now? You have a separate array only of names because you returned all the names one by one. So Thor was returned, Iron Man was returned, Captain America was returned, and finally you have all that in this names array, finally. So that's one use case, guys. So you might have, someone may come up to you and give you data of 20,000, 30,000 people and asks you to, okay, extract all the names and give me a separate array. You can just do this. Map automatically destructs data. No, it's not doing automatically. We are doing it, right? It didn't destruct the data. It simply gave me the whole object, but I only choose to return the name by accessing that property, right? Is that clear, Naveen? So map is not doing any kind of destructuring. It's simply giving me object, right? It was simply giving me the whole thing. How can I call only names? I didn't get the question, Nagesh. How can I call only names means? Like what exactly? Yes, that's what Foreach was also doing, right? Foreach was also doing the same thing. It was making the objects available one by one. See, we are calling it, right, directly names as an array. What if square bracket, curly bracket, square bracket? In this, how can we call any particular data? You have to show me the data first, Vishal. I need to see the data. By bracket, it will be a little tricky. But again, if it's an array, you can go for map. Then it's an object. Again, inside that, if you have an array, you can again go for map. So you can continue like that. But show me the data if you can. How can I call only names as an array? You're getting it as an array, right? Now, if you want to, are you asking about how can you perform loop or something like that on it? Is that your question? Because I'm still confused. How can I call only names as an array? We are calling it as an array only, right? The whole array is of only names. Or I'm misunderstanding your question, Nagesh? Am I misunderstanding your question? You can, if see now, this names is an array. This is having the whole data of names. And now if you want, you can simply go ahead and apply for each on that as well, because it's an array. So if you want, you can simply apply for each on that as well. Why not? How to loop through names? Naveen, simple. What is names? It's an array. How do we loop through an array? Names dot for each. Let's call it n. And here we go. Console.log n. So it will be called for every name, and inside that n, we'll have this. Okay, only just remove this console.log. That's it. Okay, now you got your question. You can just do this, right? First of all, Naveen, is your doubt clear, buddy? How do you loop names? See, guys, always remember, at the end, something is going to be an object or something is going to be an array. Now, no matter from where it comes from, the logic remains same. You can apply map for each filter if it is an array. That's it. Now, see, yes, I think now I understood Nagesh's question that he's asking. See, guys, now again, just let's get back to normal. Let's get back to our normal arrow function logic. Now, see, is this a single line of code? It is, right? It's a single line of code. That means if I want, I can completely ignore these curly braces. And now, guys, as we mentioned, that if it is a single line of code, we can ignore the brackets. And if it is only return statement, you can also ignore the return. So this is also fine. This will also return all the names. And a lot of people write things like this as well. Nagesh, was this your thing? This is what you were asking? So you can also do this. So this is also fine. Having only return statement is also fine. How to return a section of part of the objects if there are 10 and return 3 objects? Now, yes, that's a really good question, Isak. Now, if you're planning to return multiple things, so as you know that you cannot return 2 things from an array. Sorry, from a function. You cannot return 2 things from a function. So, in that case, what you can do is you can curate one more object here. So let's say, guys, see, Jaffa has asked a really good question here. The question is, what if you want to return multiple things? But we know in functions we learned, right? You cannot return more than one thing. So either you return a single data or you create one more object. So like this, name, av.name. So I'm creating a new object here, age, av.age. So now we are returning only a single thing. That's an object. But it is containing 2 data, which is name and age, which is having my av.name and av.age. So now if you print names, you will see it's an array of objects which only is having name and age, because I only return name and age. Understood, guys? So Jaffa, you can do this, buddy. So if you have an object of 10, 20 properties, and if you want to create a separate array of only of 3 properties, you can just do this. See, guys, we had object of 3 properties, but using map, I created one more array which is having the same objects but only of 2 properties. So while returning, I only mentioned that create a new object in which pass name as av.name, which is Thor, age as av.age, which is 1500, and then for next, and then for next. And you created a separate array which is only having the 2 properties. Understood, Jaffa? Is your doubt cleared, buddy? Please confirm that. Is your doubt cleared? Everyone understood? If we want only first and second, why not? See, first of all, return will be there. So at the last, you will get undefined. Okay. But if you only want first and second, apply a counter. Index is there, right? So first one's index is 0. Second one's index is 1. So just write, if index is less than 3 or less than 2, then return. Otherwise, don't. Right, Utpal? You can do that. So if you only want first and second, until the index is 1, because 0 and 1, you only want 2 elements. So until the index is 1, return and then stop returning. Utpal, is your doubt clear, buddy? That's what you can do. Simple. And then once you get the array, from there, you can remove that last extra undefined if you want. Okay? Is it clear, guys? Let me just adjust my camera. I think there's some white spot coming here, right? Here or here somewhere. No issues, Utpal. No issues, buddy. Okay. Now then, guys, I hope map is cleared. Let's move ahead to the next one. That's, again, one of my favorites. I tell everything as my favorite, right? Filter. Okay. Let's see that, guys. Ready, everyone? Can we start? So let me just write map here so that there's an example. This was for each. Okay. Now, guys, let's move ahead and let's talk about filter. Okay. Let's go. So now, guys, see, filter is also a looping method, but we don't use for looping. As the name says, it is used for filtration. Remember, guys, it is used for filtration. So let's see how it works. So let me create two data exactly same, like 34 and 34. So now we know there are 2 times in my array we have 34. Now let me show you how to use filter. So see, just like map was returning an array, right? Map was returning an array of all the returns. Correct, everyone? Map was returning an array of all the things. Map was returning an array of collection of all the things that you were returning from the function. Correct? Can I say that as a definition? Map is a function which gives you back an array. And that array is nothing but collection of all the elements you returned from the callback function. That's the definition, proper definition. So now, filter also returns you an array, but it is not like map. Let me show you. See, so in filter, so let's write first nums dot filter. Now, guys, remember, it also has the same parameters. Element, index, see that here. Value, index, and the array. Okay. Why is there a restriction on function of only single item of data as opposed to other programming languages? Why is there a restriction on function of only single? Why? I didn't understand the question, Naveen. Like, where exactly is it happening? Restriction on function only single item data. Where is it? In which function it is there, right, Naveen? In which function did you find it? That we can only pass single data. So, guys, again in here, you have 3 parameters. Returning data. Okay. Okay. So, you're asking why returning data. Okay, fine. Okay. See, I think, see, even when return is a process, right? Returning the executional control is a process, right? So, it might make your code a little slower if people start returning tons of data or multiple data. Maybe. That may be one case. Because execution control is not made for, it is basically made for going back to the normal flow. So if you return a lot of data, and also one more thing, if a function is returning multiple data, how are you planning to store it? Because at one time you can only create one variable, right? At one time you can only assign one thing, right? Think of it, Naveen. Let's just think of it. If my function is returning 10 variables, how are we supposed to store 10 variables at one time? We can only create one variable at one time, right? Or we can only print one data at one time, right? Getting the point? I think that is the scenario. We can only assign or print or, so that's I think one case. Array is having multiple data, but it's one single element, right? That you can store it in a single variable. Correct, Naveen? Just think of it. Array is holding multiple data, but at the end it's a single element which you can assign it in a single variable. So I don't think that's, so my first answer was just coming randomly. I don't think it was perfect. It will not make it slow because people return array on objects, but I think it's more related to returning a single element so that it can be stored in a single variable. Because then printing, storing will become very tough. Then they have to also create methods for printing and storing if functions start returning multiple elements. Correct? So even if you return objects, you're still returning a single element. Inside that element, there can be tons of data, but you are returning a single element, a single object, or a single array of object, or a single array. Is that clear, Naveen? Hopefully it's understood. So storage will be tough, printing will be tough, usage will become a lot tougher. That's why I think they return only a single data. Okay. Now guys, first of all, this also has the exact same parameters. Okay, so n, comma I, comma array. So again, if you want, you can do console.log inside it. But again, guys, no, we never use filter for console.logs. For looping, use Foreach. Now let me show you why you use filter. Okay. Now in filter, guys, mostly you're gonna be writing only one statement. That is gonna be return. Return, and then you write a condition here. First of all, guys, look at it carefully. Return and a condition. So my elements are in n. So n is equal to 34. Now see what happens here. I'm saying filter the array called as nums. Okay. Return n equal to 34. Now return n equal to 34 doesn't mean that I'm returning this condition. No. It is, the meaning here is return the current element if this condition satisfies. Return the current element. You're not mentioning the current element, but the current element is returned. So return the current element if this condition satisfies. So now let's see. First, this callback will be called for 45. Correct? Fine. Now I'll check. Return if n is equal to 45. So currently n is 45. Sorry. Return if n is equal to 34. So currently n's value is 45. Right, everyone? So is 45 equal to 34? No. So nothing will be returned. Then this moves to the next number, 34. Fine. Now your n has 34. Your n has 34. Now check. Return if n is equal to 34. Yes, n is 34. So that element, that n, will be returned. That is nothing but what? 34. So in here, 34 is returned. So we know that 34 has returned now. Cool, everyone? Now, move ahead to the 89. Doesn't match. No return. Move ahead to 34. Matches. Return that 34. Move ahead to 90. Doesn't match. And that's it, end. So we returned two 34s from this filter, which was matching this condition. And whatever we return, again collectively creates an array at the end. So inside this R, we have these two 34s, which were returned from this array because they only match the condition. So this return condition means return the element if the condition matches. Is that clear, everyone? So that's what filter does. It helps you to filter out the array based on a particular condition. So just specify the return and the condition. So wherever that condition matches, that element will be returned. And all the elements which match and they are returned, finally at the end, an array is formed and all those elements are stored in that array. So let me show you. Console.log R. See that? 34, 34. Exactly. That current element which, no, not specified element, current element. See, in all these three, who is the element? N is the element, right? N is the element or the value. I is only the index. I is the index and A is the full array. These two things will never get returned. Only the element, N or whatever you call it. Only the element. Element is the array element. Is that cleared, guys? Everyone? Please confirm. Nagesh, Naveen, Jaffa, Utpal, everyone. Understood this? Now let's move ahead. Let's talk about this here with this particular thing. Okay? Yes, exactly. Yes, Jaffa, filter is not used to modify the array. Yes, it doesn't modify the array. Yes, Gaurav, I'll do that for you. See, read it carefully. My array has 5 elements, 45, 34, 89, 34, and 90. So what happens is, first the filter is called. This function is called for the first element, which is 45. Okay. So inside my n, I have 45. Inside my I have 0 because that is the index of 45. And inside my a, I have the whole array. Now we don't have to worry about the index and element. So let's remove that. Index and array, we don't have to worry about. Let's remove it. Let's not make it complicated. Think about n. That is the element. So initially n is having 45. Now this return n equals to 34 means return the current element on which the filter is on. So currently it's on the first element, right? It's on 45. So return this n if the n matches 34. Currently it's 45. Is 45 matching 34? No. So that won't get returned. Then it goes to the next element, 34. Right? Whole array be like remaining from first index or 0. 0 included. 0 included. First index is 0, right? 0. It goes to 34 then. Then again, now inside this n, we know that it's 34. So now again, return the element, the current element, which is 34. Now see, the problem here is, okay, let me make it like this. The problem here is, see, the problem here is our element and comparison is same. Let's do this. Return if n mod 2 is equal to 0. Now I'm only returning even elements. Now let's see. Now it's more understandable. Now let's see, guys. Return the element. That means return the n if n mod 2 is equal to 0. That means if it's an even number. So now tell me, guys. Initially, n will be 45. Correct, guys? Initially n will be 45. So 45 mod 2 is equal to 0? No. So that element won't be returned. The next time it will be 34. It's an even. So for that it will return. Next element 89. No return. Next element 34. Return. Next element 90. Again it's even. It will be returned. Is that clear, guys? So now at the end inside R, you will have all the even numbers of this element, which are 3. See, 34, 34, 90. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? Yes, Vaibhav, I'm actually planning on that. Gaurav, is it clear, buddy? So initially, I think the confusion was because of we were also comparing the same element and returning the. I hope now you understood, right? It returns the element. So here we are writing return condition, but it actually means return the element if condition matches. Is that clear? That's the whole definition. Return the current element, and current element is nothing but n or whatever you specify, e or f, whatever it is. Return the current array element. This is the whole definition. Exactly, Shekhar. It is simply used to filter out the element that matches the specific condition. Now, for example, let me give you an example, guys. Let's say, how can we filter out duplicates? To filter out duplicates, let's say if you want to filter out duplicates, yes, then after that, once you get the whole array, then you can use some simpler methods to remove all the duplicates at once. You can also create a set from that array. So you can also do that. Or inside the code only, you can keep checking if that element is already available in the array. So either you can use a set, convert the array into set, so all the duplicates will be removed. So first filter out and then remove duplicates. That's the best part. That's what you can do, Nagesh. While filtering, if you want to do it, then you have to keep comparing the array again and again. Check if this element is not already in the array. Yeah, easy way is set. Easier way is set. Just convert the array to a set. All the duplicates will be removed. Okay, guys? On nums array, how we find even or odd numbers array by using simple for loop. If it is simple for loop, then I think it's much more simpler, right? Ujjwal, just do this. For, if guys, again the question is for simple for loop. That's why I'm doing this. So for let I equals 0, normal traveling. I is less than nums dot length, okay, and I plus plus. Right? Now, if nums of I mod 2 is equal to 0, that means it's an even number. Correct, Ujjwal? Else, it's an odd number. Now, internally, do whatever you want. You print it, you store it in some other array, do whatever you want now. That's it. That's the basic logic, Ujjwal. Is it cleared? That's it. So travel the loop, travel the array, and then if that element mod 2 is 0, so it's even. So do whatever you want here. Print it, store it. Else it's odd. Print it, store it. Okay, guys, now let's move ahead. Let's see this. Let me create an example for filter here. Okay. Now let's say someone comes to me and says, okay, I am giving you an array of Avengers. From that, please extract all the Avengers whose age is greater than 100. Think guys, think about the question. I am giving you an array of Avengers. From that array, please extract all the Avengers whose age is greater than 100. So what do we have to do? Come on, let's start. So let's call it new ARR, that is the new array in which all the new Avengers will be stored. So Avengers dot filter. Here I'm not going to pass index and array, just element, that is AV. Oh, come on, AV. And now in here guys, what do? Return if AV.age is greater than 100. That's it, right everyone? Not AV Utpal. AV is the whole object, right? AV is the whole object. Guys, don't forget the logic. If it is a normal element array, in that case n is your normal element. In here, your element is the whole object and you only want to work with age. So AV.age. So return the element if the element's age is greater than 100. Is that clear everyone? Understood guys? Please confirm that. So now in this new array, we should get all the Avengers whose age is greater than 100. So new array. Here we go, see? Only two people, Thor and Captain America, because they have age greater than 100. Cleared guys, everyone? Yes, Prabhat. Yes, it's also in the agenda, but not for this video, but yeah, definitely we're going to be doing that as well. Okay. All cleared guys? And everyone, if you're enjoying the session till now, if you're understanding everything, please don't forget to like the session and please do subscribe if you're new. It will help me a lot so that I can reach more people and I can teach more people. Okay. So everyone, all set? Naveen, Utpal, Nagesh, Prabhat, Jaffa, everyone, Ujwal, Vaibhav, cleared guys? Filter is cleared. And also you can specify multiple conditions guys, up to you. Can we else in the return statement? No, you cannot else here. Return is only once, right? So you cannot do else here. You can also, if you want, you can write if, else and return in between there, but you cannot write else with return. You can do this like if, but see here you don't specify conditions like that, right? Here you simply say return and the condition. So you cannot do that in this case. Is that cleared, Naveen? Normally we avoid that stuff in here. Okay, is it cleared? But you can also write multiple conditions. Like we have learned, right guys, we can use and on operator to put multiple conditions. So if someone tells me that I want only the elements whose age is greater than 100 and ID should be 2 or ID should be even. So guys, and AV.ID mod 2 should be equal to 0. Correct, right? Now I'll get only the elements whose age is greater than 100 and ID is even. Correct? That's it. So you can also specify and. You can also specify and just like you specify it in your if conditions. The logic is same. Hopefully it's understood guys. Okay. Now let's move ahead everyone. Let's move ahead to the last array method for today's video. Okay, this is what you wanted to know. Okay, fine. Cool. Okay guys, now let's move ahead to the last method for the day. Okay, which let's not work with the normal array. Let's last array method. After this we're going to cover destructuring and spread operator and rest operator as Nagesh asked yesterday. So let's go. Let me directly work here now. Okay, find. See guys, find is like a copy of filter only. The only difference is my password is 1234. If I'm entered more than 3 times, message will be blocked, else welcome. Yes, Prabhat. In the next session, we are planning for reduce only. So we'll start with all those methods only. Reduce and then asynchronous JavaScript. Okay. If I'm entered more than 3 times, message will be blocked, else welcome. So like you're asking how to do that. Nagesh, is that your question? So we can use a do while loop or a while loop to create that logic. But for that, we need to take input from user. Right? And in JavaScript, there are only 2 ways to take input from user, which is either the prompt or your input fields. But yeah, if you want logic, I can give you the logic. If you want logic, I can give you the logic. More than 3 times. So you want to count attempts, right? You can just do this. See, guys, let me answer Nagesh's question. See, you can just do this. Let's say, first of all, apply a do while loop. Okay, so do. Okay, let's say you store your password in here. Password. And by some way, you take the password. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. Cleared? So let password. Now you're going to compare it, correct? You're going to compare it. So if password is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, then welcome, right? So console.log welcome. Correct? Otherwise, my attempts will go down. So initially I have a variable called as attempts. So let attempts equals, how many attempts do you want? 3 times, right? Let's say 3 attempts I'm giving. Cool. So else, if it is wrong, attempts will be minus minus. Okay. And I'll exit the loop if attempts are lost. So while attempts is greater than 0, it's fine for me. That's it. That's the whole logic. Now in here, I'm writing 3, 4, 5 directly. But in your case, you can go ahead and take input from user. If I take it, let me take it here only. Let me take it. Prompt. Let me just show you. Enter password. Okay. See now what happens. So attempts initially is 3. So now this do while loop will work again and again. And first it will ask me password. It will match my password. If it's fine, then welcome. Otherwise attempts minus minus. It will ask me again. Let me show you. And here, let me just do this. Plus attempts plus left. You can also use your string templating here. Now see. See that? Enter passwords. Okay, I forgot to write attempts. Attempts. See this. Enter password, 3 attempts left. I put something wrong. Let's say 7, 8, 9. Okay. Actually, I want to open the console so bad, but okay, let's do one thing. Okay, fine. We'll open it again. Let me put something wrong. Okay, let's open the console. Now see, guys. Focus. You got it? Okay. I write it here. Now see, normally we can use a normal input here, but fine. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, the console is getting refreshing maybe. The control is getting refreshed. Yep, the console is getting refreshed. That's the problem. That's why it's not printing it. See guys, again, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 6, 7, 8. Okay. And see, nothing happened. But if I put right password now, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, you got welcome. Actually, I didn't print anything here. Got it? It only worked 3 times, Nagesh. You saw that? Did you see that? If I just put your console.log. Attempts left. Now see. Yes, I forgot to write that there. See now. I write a wrong password. Okay. Again wrong. Okay. Again wrong. Okay. See, 3 attempts left. Now I put. So it is starting, guys. I refreshed it. Again it's starting. I put 4, 5, 6, which is wrong password. 2 attempts left. I passed 7, 8, 9. 1 attempts left. And that's gone. It's printing afterwards because it's doing that minus minus initially. But is it cleared? Is it cleared, Nagesh? That's the base logic if you want. Okay? Please confirm that. That's the doubt, right? I hope it's cleared now. So in this case, in future, you can, what do you say? Check your password from the database. Right now, I'm just checking dummy. Okay, cool. Nagesh, please answer if you're there, buddy. Is it cleared? Are you sure? Don't just say it for okay, fine, okay, I understood. I hope it's clear, right? That's the base logic. Now see, right now we don't have a proper input field. That's why the output comes and goes in the console. If we have a proper input field, we can do it in a much more better way. Okay, but that's the logic if you want the logic. Okay, guys, let's move ahead. Let's work with find. So as I said, guys, find is exactly similar to filter, but there is only one very important difference, and I want you to notice that. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me take the exact same stuff and let me print it here. See now, instead of filter, I apply find here. Okay, cool. Now see, guys, in filter logic, it was giving me two elements, Thor and Captain America, because both of their ages were greater than 100. But now I want to see what's coming in my new array. And I want you guys to answer me now. Let's see. Same logic but with find. You're not getting an array. You're getting only one element. It's because the difference between filter and find is filter works throughout the arrays and finds all the matches for that condition. In the case of find, if find finds out one match, it stops. So in this case, it finds out Thor, age is greater than 100, so condition matches, and that's it. Leave it. So it will only find one occurrence. That's it. Yes. If the first is found, then leave it. So filter goes through the whole array, no matter how many times it finds for that condition. But find only finds one element. Even after that, if there are elements that can match the condition, it will not go towards that. Is that clear, guys? Understood? Everyone, is this understood? That's the difference between filter and find. So if you ever want to only find out a single element, just use find. If you want to filter out the whole array with multiple elements, go for filter. So filter returns an array, find returns the single element it finds out. No, it's good, Utpal, it's good. Depends on the requirement. Sometimes you just want to check if something that matches is there in array or not. So use find. But if you want the number of results, you go for filter. Okay? If you just want to make sure that, let's just see if something from this condition is there in the array or not. So even if you find one, it's fine. Yes, Naveen. Find is efficient if you want to just check if there is something like this or not. Filter is efficient if you really want that data in a separate array. Cleared? And yeah, only if you want one, you can definitely go for find. Why not? Okay. So guys, cleared everyone? Hopefully. That's great, Jaffa. That's great. Okay. Now, guys, shall we move ahead to the last concepts for today? Everyone? So I wanted to teach you destructuring and something called as spread operator. And yesterday, actually, Nagesh asked this question. So let's cover that as well. And again, guys, one more thing. If you guys want to revise this whole live stream, either you can watch live stream or on my channel, there is a video, 3-hour video on JavaScript fundamentals. You can watch that whole video. These things and a lot of other things are also covered in that video. Is that clear, everyone? So if you want to just revise it, all these filter, map, find, arrays, objects, array of objects, all of that is covered in that particular video as well. Okay? So if you just want to revise it, you can follow that video. It's a 3-hour video, but it covers literally every basic foundation that you need in JavaScript. A lot, like much more than this live stream. So if you want, you can also watch that afterwards, if you only want to revise. Now then, guys, let's move ahead. So let's talk about a concept of destructuring. Okay. Now see, guys, destructuring. I think I made a spelling mistake. Destructuring. Maybe. Fine, guys. Don't mind the spelling in this case. In my YouTube channel only, let me show you. If you just go here. If you go to the channel, see this video. This one. JavaScript fundamentals from scratch, a complete guide. So this is the video. And I've also given timestamps. So you can see everything. setting up JavaScript, variables and operators, conditional statements, loops, functions, arrow and callback, let, var and const, arrays, object and destructuring, array of object, memory allocation, for each map filter, find, sort and find index, generator function. So everything is covered. Every basic that you need before you start with bigger things in JavaScript like React and Angular and everything. Everything that you need to learn about JavaScript programming fundamental is in this video. Okay, so you can watch this as well afterwards. Okay guys, now let's move ahead. So see guys, destructuring is a very cool concept. Okay, destructuring is a very cool concept. I like it a lot because it helps you to copy data in a really efficient manner. So let me show you. I will not be able to attend classes from tomorrow for 4 days. Don't worry, the next class is not tomorrow guys, as I'll be traveling for the next 2-3 days. So the next class will be directly of asynchronous JavaScript, and it will be on the next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So 2 classes completely dedicated to asynchronous JavaScript next Saturday and Sunday, as I'll be traveling for the next 2-3 days. So I won't be taking any live sessions. Okay, so I'm so sorry for that. I wanted to take, but again, I'm traveling, so I can't, I won't be able to do that. So next Saturday and Sunday, which is basically, I think 14th and 15th, that's what I'm planning to take complete asynchronous JavaScript sessions. Okay, 2 hours each day. That's what I'm planning. Asynchronous, completely asynchronous JavaScript. Okay, so till that time, you can practice all of this that we have learned. You can watch that video and practice the whole JavaScript, and then we'll directly start with asynchronous JavaScript. And guys, it's very important because everything afterwards is going to be dealing with asynchronous and networking calls. So there I'll be telling you about everything: asynchronous JavaScript, how to call network, how to call APIs, what is XML HTTP request, how does that work, everything. So guys, let's move ahead. So let's, for example, say you have an object. Okay, so let obj equals something like this: name Saurabh and age 27. Okay, now guys, see, can you give some assignments to practice? Yes, definitely. So I'll be posting some assignments. I'll be actually emailing it to you. Okay, so I think I have got all your email IDs in there. Okay, or I'll be putting it on Telegram. The best thing, I can put the assignment on Telegram. Yes, Jaffa, free. Everything is free. Don't worry, everything is on YouTube and free. Okay, so now guys, let's move ahead, everyone. So think that we have an object here. Okay, now if someone says me that, okay, can you please copy these 2 properties of this object into variables, like for example in this, let name. So normal process will be like this: let name equals to obj.name and let age equals to obj.age. Correct guys? This is what we'll normally do, right? This is what we will normally do if I want to copy the object properties in normal variables. Correct? But this will be very hectic if you have a lot of different properties. So in that case, there is one concept introduced in the new JavaScript version that is called as destructuring. Okay, you have said that you're going outside, you're not available yesterday on XLR, and here are you live teaching. I'm not available on that specific time, engineer. I'm not available on that specific time. Actually, just to let you know, today is my birthday. So that's why I have to be somewhere on that time. I hope you understand, engineer. That is why. So that time I have to be somewhere. I'm so sorry for that. That's why we are continuing from Monday. I hope you have cleared your question, engineer. Buddy, I hope you understand. So at that time, this was my free time today. So I was having this time. But that time I don't have it. Okay. Cool, guys. So let's go, everyone. Let's start. So one better way of doing this is you can simply go ahead, put brackets like this. Okay, object brackets, but don't create objects. Just go ahead and write your name, the property name, the variable name that you want, and age. And then equals to obj. That's it. Now make sure that your variable names and your property names are same. And now what will happen is all the objects, all the properties inside this object which match these 2 names will be copied. So this name value, which is Saurabh, will be copied in this variable. This age value, which is 27, will be copied in this variable. So now you can fairly use these two variables normally outside, like name. See what happens here. See that? You got your Saurabh in this. Understood, guys? So destructuring is a way of copying object properties into normal variables like this. Understood, guys? Everyone, please confirm. Is this cleared? Nagesh, this was your question, buddy. So are you cleared with this? This is what destructuring means. So we basically destructured the object. And the best part is you can only mention whatever you want. Okay. For example, if I have many properties, like let's say also I have city, like this. So in this case, see, I'm only extracting name and age. I'm not even extracting city. So you can only extract whatever you want. Yes, Naveen, they have to be same. Guys, the property names and the variable names should be same. Okay, the property names and the variable names should be same. It's very important. The sequence doesn't matter. I can also write age comma name. The sequence doesn't matter. See, it's still Saurabh. So remember this, guys. The sequence doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the proper names. Okay. So this is what we call as destructuring of object. Think of it like this. If you have an object of 20 properties and you want to use 5 properties from there multiple times. So rather than writing object dot again and again, you can just copy all of that in your normal variables and then you use your normal variables. So whatever you might write in 10 lines, you can write all of that in 1 line. Understood, guys? Because if I tell you to copy 10 properties like this, you have to write 10 lines of code. Here you will be only writing 1 line and just mentioning the variables. That's all. Can we use let obj? No. You cannot do that. Because Utpal, if you do that, that will be kind of object creation, right? And that's a wrong object creation. So it will give you an error. It will think that you're creating an object. See, it looks like this, right? Utpal, your syntax looks like this. So it looks like you're creating an object. Is that cleared? Okay. In array, sequences matter. In array, Ujjwal, I didn't understand the question, buddy. We never destructure array. We only do one thing, is we spread the array. We destructure objects, but we spread the array. So those are two different things. So we destructure the array, but that concept is called as spreading the array. Is that cleared? So now we're going to be looking into that as well. So guys, is destructuring cleared? Everyone, is destructuring cleared? Please confirm that. Can we move ahead to the next concept? That is the spread operator. Now guys, it's one of my favorite operators actually, spread operator. I hope destructuring was very easy. Okay. Spread operator, or what we call as array destructuring, the concept. Okay, let's see. So now, let's say you have an array. Guys, please focus, it's very important. Let's say you have an array like, let's call it n, okay, with some numbers like 45, 67, 78. Oh, again, I'm writing it wrong, sorry. 23, 56, 78, 90, something like that. Okay. Now, if I just print this array like this, see what happens. I'm printing the array, perfectly fine, right? Array is getting printed, perfectly fine, all good. Now, if I just go in front of this array and add dot, 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 this is what we call as a spread operator. This dot, dot, dot is what we call as a spread operator. What it does is, it converts the array's values into an open value. Now, all the 4 values are openly available to anyone. It's like that. See what happens now. Array is gone. All the 4 values are like spreaded now. So initially they were in a, think of it like this. Initially they were in a container. Now they're outside. Now they're without the container, free flowing. That's the meaning of spread. Is that clear, guys? Now what I can do is, see, I can do this. If needed, I can do this. Let A equals, I create a new array, and inside that I pass dot, dot, dot n. So I spread the whole n. I spread the whole n, or you can also call it, I destructure the whole n array and put it a new array. So now what will happen is, My A is a new array with the exact same values of n. So we actually copied the array. Understood, guys? Is that cleared? What of obj.name? That's fine. That's one way of accessing properties, right, Jaffa? That's one way of accessing properties. So if you watch last session, the previous session before this one, you can see that. I'll tell you what's the benefit of spread. See. Now let's say you have two arrays. Let n and let's say you have s. 23, 45, 67, 89 as well. Now you want to take these two arrays and create one array. What's the best way? N openly available n values, comma s openly available s values, and finally you'll have an array called as a which proper values. Yes, it doesn't affect the original array. Yes, that's the best part. It doesn't affect the original array, right? So it's mainly used for this purpose only, copying the arrays properly, copying the elements. And you can join 10 arrays just like this and create a final big array. Is it cleared? And what you're doing here is you're creating deep copies. Is that cleared, guys? So let me tell you what is happening here. See, normally, let me teach you. Let me show you this as well. See, if I go ahead and copy n into s, guys, please focus, everyone. Please focus. Okay, please focus. Let's print both of them. Console.log s comma n. Now to understand more about this, guys, please go ahead and watch the memory allocation logic in that video. You'll understand why it's happening. Okay. See now what happens. Since arrays are considered as objects in JavaScript, see what happens. So now my s and n are same. I copied them, so s and n are same. Correct? Now, if I go ahead and change n, so let's say I change n's first element from 56 to 78 or maybe to 97. So guys, see, I created n, I copied n into s, and then I changed n's first index from 56 to 97. See what happens. It's also getting changed for s. It's getting changed at both places. This is happening because by default, when you copy stuff, it is called a shallow copy. The whole elements are not getting copied. Only the same memory is getting copied. The memory address is getting copied. It is still only one array which both variables are having. Is that clear, guys? Understood? But if you perform this n, now you're not copying the same array's address. You're creating a new array out of this array. So you're taking all the values of this array and generating a new array. So now if you change n, it will not affect s. See now. S is still same and n has changed. So that's how it works in JavaScript. So if you do normal copy, shallow copy means copying only the address. That's why I told you guys. To know more about this, please focus. To know more about this, just watch that video's memory allocation section. I have given the timestamp. Just watch the memory allocation section. You'll understand it. Is that clear, guys? Everyone? So when you copy an array or an object, see, let me explain it here as well. See, guys. See, when you're copying s into n, our thinking goes like that, okay, fine. Now n is having an array and s is also having an array for itself. But no. What actually happened is, let me show you. See, guys, see. Let's say this was your memory. Let's say this is your memory, right? This is your memory. You create this array. So you have created that array with all the elements, correct? And you have stored it in n. But remember, guys, when you create an array in JavaScript, this array is stored in the heap memory. N actually doesn't own the array. Inside n, the address of this memory location is stored. So let's say the memory address is A1. So that A1 is stored here. So according to us, we have stored array inside n. But in reality, inside n, only the address of that array is stored. In the same case, when you copy S into N, when you copy N into S, you're not copying this array. You're only copying the address. So S is also having A1. That means now N and S both are just having address of that array. That means we didn't actually duplicate the array. Array is only one. Understood, guys? That means N is also pointing towards the same array. S is also pointing towards the same array. Exactly. And that's why when you change the array using N, since the same array is visible to both, S also feels that change. Is that clear, guys? That's why. And for more information, please watch that video, the memory allocation part at least. You'll understand what is this heap and stack and all of that. That's why we can use something called as spread operator. What it does is, it is not copying the array. It is simply spreading the values of N and creating a new array for S. So now N is a different array, S is a different array, but with the same values. So this is what we call as deep copy. The first one was shallow copy, where you were only copying the addresses. Nagesh, is it clear, buddy? Where you were only copying the addresses. Now, actually two different copies of this arrays are present for N and for S. This is what we call as deep copy. So this is where spread operators are used. And they are also used to generate a big array out of multiple arrays for easy copying. Is it cleared? Nagesh, are we cleared, buddy? Guys, it's Saurabh's birthday today. Let's take a moment. I think, Rohan, initially they did. All of them wished. So it was really nice of them. They all wished me. Everyone, are we cleared with this, guys? Please tell me. Nagesh, is it clear? Because this was your doubt. This is what you asked. So this is what we call as destructuring of array or spreading the array. Okay, everyone. Naveen, Ujjwal, Utpal. Okay. Now, guys, please, I have only explained it, the overview of memory allocation. But please, please, please go ahead and watch that video. In that, I've explained what is heap, what is stack, how your normal values are stored, how your arrays and objects are stored. Please watch that, okay? Thank you so much, Akhilesh. Thank you so much, buddy. So, guys, I think we are done with the day. We have covered everything that we mentioned initially, right? Now, guys, next session will be directly on 14th. Sorry, not 14th, 15th. Oh, rest parameter. Yeah, thank you for reminding. Guys, one last thing is left. Thank you for reminding me, Nagesh. Okay, rest parameter. Yes, guys, I forgot that. Let's see. It's very easy. Very easy. Now, guys, see. Again, it's parameter. That means it's something related to function. So let me create a function. Let's say do something. Now, guys, see. Normally, what we do is we create parameters like this, right? Everyone. And internally we can use it. So console.log a comma b, right? And now let's call that function. And I can pass 1 comma 3. Right? So 1 and 3 will be printed. Correct, everyone? Guys, is this function understandable? I hope there is no confusion in this. This is simple, right? This is what we have learned so far. A simple function having two parameters. We are passing values for it and it's working. Correct? I'll let you know the video, Utpal. Don't worry. I will let you know the video. Okay, guys? Now, please focus, everyone, that what if I don't know the amount of data that I want to pass through parameters? So in that case, what I can do is I can create something called as a rest parameter. And that is created by putting 3 dots and a name, like let's say A. Now the best part is, guys, I can now pass n number of parameters, no matter how many you want to pass, all of that. All these values will go inside this A as an array. And now see what happens. We get an array. And now internally you can use this A however you want. That means now you're able to pass unlimited parameters without, now you're able to pass unlimited arguments without defining unlimited parameters. Is that clear, guys? Understood? This is what you call as rest parameter. Now, let's say if you're passing 2. So make sure to do this. B and then dot 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 A. So inside B, 1 will go and rest all of them will go inside A. Is that clear, guys? Let me show you. See? So B is having 1 and rest all of them are going inside A. That's why it is called as rest parameter. So rest everything is going in A. So if you want, you can only have one rest parameter. So everything will go in there. If you want, you can have two parameters like this. So first one will take the first argument and all of the other ones will go in this. And remember guys, if you're using multiple parameters, rest parameter should be your last parameter only. It should not be in between. It should not be first. Either it is only one, or if you have multiple parameters, rest should be the last one only. That's it. So rest parameter is basically used to take unlimited arguments from a function and it converts all the values into an array and you can use it internally. Loop it, use it, whatever you want, you can do that. Is it clear, Nagesh? Understood what is rest parameter? It's kind of looks like spread operator, but it's different, right? Everyone, Naveen, cleared, buddy? Yes, B is having 1. So because you have two parameters, so the first argument goes in the first parameter and all the everything else left goes in A. Okay, if I have like B, C and A, so in this case what will happen now? Tell me. You think, guys, tell me. In this case what will happen? Come on. 1 will go in B, 3 will go in C and everything else will go in A. If I have B, C, D, dot A. So 1 will go in B, 3 will go in C, 5 will go in D, and everything else will go in A. Okay? Why will C be undefined? Utpal, come on. No. Understood now? So first three parameters will take first three arguments. Don't forget the sequence, Utpal. Basic logic. Our basic function logic is still same. First three parameters will take first three arguments and everything that is left will go in this A, rest parameter. No, that's wrong. As I mentioned, Shekhar, you can never put rest parameter as your first. It should always be your last. You cannot put as first. Because if you put that as first, that means everything will go in A. So what will go in B and C then? You're getting my point? And see, it is giving an error. A rest parameter must be last in the list. You got it? Shekhar? See, it's an error actually. Difference. Spread operator is used to destructure an array. Rest parameter is simply used to take unlimited arguments from a function. Is that cleared? They look same, but they work differently. It's like opposite. Spread operator is spreading the whole array, correct? And rest operator is taking multiple elements and converting it to array. Is it clear, Ujjwal? Nagesh, is it clear to you, buddy? This was your question, right? This was your doubt. I hope it's cleared. Okay. So guys, everyone, I hope you understood everything that we learned today. Nagesh, I'm still waiting for your answer, buddy. Please confirm me that. And also guys, that's it from today. Okay. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this whole session. So please let me know in the chat that if you guys enjoyed it or not. That keeps me motivated. And please also like the session, guys, if you have enjoyed it. And also if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, guys. And please share the channel and the video with your friends as well. Okay. So guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed. I was raising a glass. Thank you so much, Naveen. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you so much. Now, guys, I'll be meeting you live directly on 15th of April, which is Saturday. Then we will carry on with asynchronous JavaScript. Till then, please, guys, don't forget to continue with that video to know more about this. Yes, maybe Nagesh. So Utpal, I was talking about this video on my channel. If you just go, I was talking about this video, this one, JavaScript fundamentals from scratch. this video, this one. Okay. So guys, we covered a lot of things today. So that's it from today, guys. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for being there with me every day. And also thank you so much to all the new people who joined. I will also remember your names in some days. And also, yeah, I'll give you the Telegram link. Just give me a second. Okay. So Telegram web. Here we go. Here's the Telegram link. Yep, guys. So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks, Saurabh, for it. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for spending it with me. Thank you so much for coming to the lecture. And yeah, thank you so much for wishing me birthday. Thank you so much, guys. Means a lot. Okay, we have made a very small community of friends now. So that's great. And we are also getting new people in there. So that's great, guys. And also remember your names in some days. So thank you so much. Keep joining and please share it with your friends as well. So guys, bye-bye, everyone. See you on 15th with a new live lecture. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.